Hello, YouTube prepper friends. This is Lee, the Cold War prepper. Well, they went and did it, and pretty much on the timeline we figured. And the good news is that the Ukrainians are holding their own. It appears that they've got 3 major land attacks, 2 of them from the north, and then the 3rd one coming from the east. Then they've got the sea assault of 3, basically just over a battalion of tanks going towards Odessa. And then they have the airborne assault on the airport just northwest of Kyiv. So, you know, things are looking very commendable for the Ukrainian defenses, that they've stalled this Russian onslaught the way that they have. It's just they're doing a phenomenal job. So they really are taking a toll on the Russians, and you have to hand it to them. I mean, these people are doing what they need to do. They're dedicated and unbelievable. They're going to have to take care of that airport situation here pretty soon, or else they can start taking some of their aerial supplies and resupplies coming in. Now, what may have happened, and time will tell, this may be a replay of Field Marshal Montgomery's bridge too far in World War II, and his assault across 3 bridges in Germany, where he, Operation Market Garden, where he flew in airborne troops to secure a couple bridgeheads, and then the tanks weren't fast enough and were held up by Germans and couldn't get to those bridgeheads quick enough, and they lost them. Same thing here with the airport. There were 2 different attacks coming in like an anvil towards the airport to take the airport, and both of those have been stalled very successfully by the Ukrainians. The question is, will they still have the manpower? Will they still have the personnel? Will they still have the ammunition to handle a second day's worth of onslaughts like they have the first day? Of course, now it's evening in Ukraine, and I believe that the Russians probably realize now that they did not do enough of an indirect fire bombardment to neutralize defensive capabilities. But they're going to be there. They're probably going to correct that mistake this evening. It's going to be an all-out onslaught tomorrow. If I were the Ukrainians, I'd destroy that airfield, even though it's necessary for their own air force. That's going to prevent any reinforcements from coming in for that airborne unit that took over the airport. And then right now they've also captured Chernobyl. So they've also captured down on the Dnieper River a power plant. So yeah, but the Russians definitely are not moving as fast as I think they wanted to. That's for sure. What we're seeing also is we're seeing a lot of threats. We're seeing a lot of social media threats. One of our subscribers here sent me a copy of a text that he had gained access to, where they're basically saying that they want to rebuild the old Soviet Union and Warsaw Pact. If we as American citizens don't encourage our government to do that, then they will show their strength by launching an ICBM and exploding it in the nuclear test site in Nevada. The problem with that is an ICBM doesn't give directions on where it's going to go. So once one comes over the horizon and goes towards the U.S., we won't be able to say that one's definitely going towards the nuclear test facility in Nevada, and we would respond accordingly. So I think that's all disinformation. I think that's all propaganda. So be cautious of what you listen to and hear. Last night, there were people on this live screening, that live watch that I was watching, and they were just trashing the Ukrainians big time. While I'm sitting here watching live cameras of some of the action and seeing how they're defending them, these guys were trashing them, saying they're throwing their weapons down, that all we did was give the Russians another $16 billion worth of weaponry. And that wasn't accurate at all. Please be careful what you listen to. Make sure it sounds like it has common sense. Give the Ukrainians some credit. Now, here's the bad part. Putin did say that if in any way any member of the West or NATO allies attacks Russia, that he will reply, and he implied that he would do it with nuclear warfare. So what defines an attack against Russia? Are the sanctions that President Biden just placed on him considered an attack against Russia? That could be a stimulus for a nuclear attack. We don't know. Um, some of my fears. Number one, President Biden didn't understand some of his own answers. He started to answer one, gave up on it, moved to another answer to a different question that wasn't asked, and then somebody else asked their question. Then the Indian reporter asked if India had been consulted about this, and President Biden said, "Well, we'll do that later on." I'm sorry, I don't have confidence in our government. I wish I did. I wish I did. And then later he said he was going to defer to General Milley. Well, can he get General Milley out of the classroom teaching critical race theory long enough to be a general in the armed forces dedicated to defending our country instead of teaching political theory? And then the question I would also have is, General Milley admitted that he was in cahoots with the Chinese during the Trump administration, and he was going to warn them of any actions we were going to take. How can President Biden, if he's of his own mind, have any trust or faith whatsoever in General Milley, who has already said that he would tip off the enemy on any kind of a pending attack? How can he still be in his position? I'm about ready to sleep. Oh, bless me. I'm allergic to war. So, and then of course, the final question is one of, please do me a favor. Don't let this all get to you. Don't turn off the news. Don't spend too much time on YouTube, either recording or listening. Spend some time with your family. Make sure you're prepped up. So what did I do today? Well, because of my broken hand, I can't rack my pistol. So I had to go back to my old revolver. And guess what? Bass Pro Shop had ammunition for my revolver today. So I picked up some ammunition for my revolver. I do have a couple speed clips for it. And so, that can help a little bit, I guess, for a couple more rounds. But then I also, they had ammunition for my hunting rifle, so I got a box or two of that. And then they also had some good shotgun ammunition, so I picked up on that. But water, food, how are you going to heat your home? How are you going to cook your food? You're going to need some sort of combustible material. I've got two 35-gallon trash cans full of firewood. Of course, some of it's been used up. I'm going to go get some more and replace that. Then I've got two 35-gallon trash cans full of charcoal, but it's only 1.5 right now. I need to refill that second one. So I'm going to get both of those, all four of those trash cans are going to be totally full by the end of today. I also have a footlocker, a military footlocker, full of pressed wood pellets, which are great for my solo stove, which is a combustion stove. And so I'm taking care of water, food, and a means of cooking today, and I want to get all that taken care of, and I would advise you do the same. I'm also going to top off the fuel in my car. And my pickup, I'm going to get a couple 5-gallon gas cans full of gas to make sure that we have all that taken care of as well. So with that, all I can say is I'm praying for you. I'm praying for the country. I'm praying for the world. Hopefully this doesn't go too much further. Let's pray for peace and prepare for the alternative if that doesn't happen. So with that, all I can tell you is hunker down, stay safe, be prepared. This is Lee signing out.